There were a lot of things that my father should have taught me that he did not. My father was a very busy man. He ran multiple businesses, and his attention was split many ways. But I don't want to get into that. The point is that I had to figure out a lot of stuff over the 50 plus years I've spent on this planet that should have simply been told to me when I was younger. Would have saved me a lot of painful realization. So, I'm going to pass on a few things to younger men. If you're in your, whatever, if you're under 30, listen to what I'm saying, because I'm going to tell you stuff that it took me a long time to figure out, and I wish someone would have explained it to me clearly when I was a younger man. One of the first things I'm going to tell you, and this is probably going to end up being a series of videos because there's really so much to pass on, but the first thing I'm going to tell you is this. When you're in your 20s, specifically your early to mid 20s, do not pressure yourself too hard to know what it is you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to have a track. Some people have a track. They know what they're going to do from high school. They're working towards it their entire lives, and that's fine. I get it. You want to be an attorney. You want to be in the medical practice. Something like that requires dedication from a very young age. I absolutely get that, and I respect it very much. I'm referring more to guys that don't necessarily know what they want to do yet. You're 25, you're not quite sure what your direction is. Or whatever it is you were into, for some reason you changed your mind, doesn't matter why. What I am going to tell you is this. Stick to what you love. Stay as close as you possibly can to the thing or activity or whatever it is that you love the most. And if you stay within proximity of that thing for long enough, work in the field, be around it, involve yourself in it as much as possible, then finding your career that's either in or parallel to that thing that you love will come a lot easier. Stay close to the thing you love. Too many people, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but too often people have to take terrible jobs that have nothing whatsoever to do with the thing they love the most. And let me go ahead and give you a little example of that because it's something that I did. I've been into music my entire life. I was that kid who spent more time reading the Radio Shack catalog than I did superhero comics. I was building circuit board projects when I was a kid. When I was 11, I had an FM. I was transmitting an FM radio station from the closet in my room, and at a whopping 1.5 mile range, because that was the kind of thing I was into. I was a kid with all the stereo equipment and the huge record collection, as I was really into music, and I loved it a lot. And a lot of the work that I did throughout my adult life was centered around that. Once I got out of service, I I was a nightclub DJ for several years, and that's a whole life unto itself. We're talking about the mid-'90s. Later on, I ran a small event company where we did corporate events, conventions, things like that. I also did a stint doing things like private events, weddings, so on and so forth. And all of this kind of tickled me in the right place. I was dealing with high-end audio equipment and wiring and music and dealing with people, which I was very good at, and I enjoyed it. So it never felt like work to me, even though it was my actual job for a long time, a lot of years. Then, later on, I got into a part of all that, an offshoot, that was sort of adjacent, but not really about music. And the reason I got into that little distraction for a few years is because the money was really good. But it took me away from what I loved. So after several years, I realized I was getting frustrated and I did not like what I was doing, even though the money was great. It took me away from the thing I loved. And I just dealt with a whole lot of extra aggravation that I didn't need to deal with. And once I got away from that side of the business and got back to running events, I was back to where I wanted to be. And I realized then that you've got to stick close to the thing that you love to be successful and to be happy with what you do. So that's my big piece of advice, at least for this video, for young men figuring it out. Stick as close as you can to what you love doing, because few things are as miserable as someone working in a job they don't care anything about and have no interest in, and they're just doing it for the paycheck. Don't get me wrong, everybody has to do that sometimes. Not everyone gets to just work the job they want to work. But if you're young enough and you're just starting out, hey, even if it means you stay broke for a little while and you struggle for a little while, and it's not maybe so automatic or predictable of a track, don't discount the value of loving what it is that you do for a living. That's more important than you could possibly know. Have a good day.